Hey everybody. Changing it up a little bit. Decided to try and do a different video of sorts showing my face. I'm still learning the ropes in this thing. I think I've made some pretty good strides since starting my channel within the last 6 months, but still learning some tricks of the trade. But anyway, this video basically I wanted to talk about was from some of your previous comments and other videos that I've done. It's clear that you guys that left those comments are not buying the fact that Jesus is the dishonorably mocking, fabricated name that the Roman Catholic Church created some 500 years ago, and the actual name of the Son of the Most High, Father Yahuah, is Yahushua ben David. Now, I guess John chapter 5 verses 43 and 44 just isn't enough to prove the point that the Son says he comes in his Father's name. I mean, the Father is Yahuah and the Son is Yahushua. But if someone else comes in his name, you can see the verse yourself, as in the other person, Jesus or even Paul, they come in their own name, then you believe, you listen, but you won't listen otherwise. So I thought I would do a more contemporary approach to what I'm trying to get across. Everybody knows who Jay-Z is, right? He's a pretty popular rapper for the last 15, 20 years. I know he retired a couple times, kind of like some well-known athletes we know of. But he's pretty much a admitted Satanist. But for whatever reason, as I'm going to show you here, he wears a t-shirt that says Jesus is Lord. Now ask yourself, why would he wear a Jesus is Lord t-shirt if that's going against everything about his Luciferian teaching that he's trying to get across to his fan base, his impressionable fan base, and he's making that public, that Jesus is Lord? There's got to be a reason he's putting that out in the limelight like that. I mean, he's not like accidentally, oops, I forgot I was wearing that shirt, I'm a closet Jesus fan. No. If you've been watching my last video on Hollywood and mind programming, I talk about how the lie is what's allowed to be shown, and that is the actual thing we're only allowed to see. It's blatantly thrown in our face constantly, whether we understand what we're seeing or not, and the truth is what's always hidden. So I thought I'd use Jay-Z as an example for my little contemporary angle here. Okay, so as you see, he's wearing this Jesus is Lord shirt, right? But he's, like I said, an admitted Satanist. Now, why would he allow that? Any thoughts? Here's one for you. He knows exactly who Jesus is and what side he's on. And he knows most people don't. So he's going around basically flaunting that he's wearing the Antichrist on his shirt, when everybody else thinks, oh, well, he's a good guy. He likes Jesus. That's the lie. That's what he's trying to get across without you realizing it. He wants you to think it's the truth. Just like his album on his 13th studio album, no less, is entitled 444, as I'm going to show you right here. Now, why would he name his album 444? Now, if you do a little research online, you're going to see that it says anything from, oh, him and Beyonce got married on April 4th. So there's 4-4. And others say that, oh, the 44 is a tribute to Barack Obama being the 44th president. I don't buy it. And here's why. Again, 444 was his 13th studio album. Now, if you know anything about occult symbols, occult numbers, you know what 13 is. So he decided to name his 13th album 444. Have you ever heard of the expression, as above, so below? And check this out. See what I'm getting at? You flip that upside down, 444 becomes what? The only 3 possible numbers together on a digital display readout with this particular font that could even remotely resemble 666. He's blatantly mocking that he's wearing the Antichrist. He's basically mocking people to their faces without anybody knowing it for the most part, unless you're awake and you know the true lies that go on in the world, and that we're primarily only allowed to see lies. The lies, again, are exposed, and they're blatantly exposed for everyone to see. The truth is what we can never see. As in, Yahushua ben David is the true and only Son of the Most High Father Yahuah. Jesus is not his name, people. Country artist Charlie Major had an album, I believe, in the year 2000 called 444 as well. Now, there's a picture of him with only one eye showing. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the subliminal messages here. I mean, 444 on this album cover, Jay-Z's album cover. Anyway, I think you get the point. Anywho, back to Jay-Z. It's not by chance, people. He knows exactly what he's doing. Here's another shirt he's wearing, a picture of Yahushua crucified on the cross. Now, some would say he's sending mixed signals here, but I'm telling you that he's trying to make it look like he wants his fans to like, oh, I guess he's not a Satanist. He does love Jesus. Even though, in his mind, he's wearing death on his shirt of the true and only Son of the Most High Father Yahuah. Hiding in plain sight. The reason that they put Jesus out there so much for everybody to see, again, as the lie that no one's aware of, or very few are, is because he, as in Jesus, is going to come here soon. But he's not going to be the second coming of the true Son of the Most High Father Yahuah. Jesus comes before, as in the Antichrist arrives. If you know anything about the book of Revelation, you know the Antichrist reigns for 42 months. That's 1,250 days, 3.5 years. That's why they're putting that lie out there so much. No one knows what Yahushua ben David looks like. The picture everybody's used to seeing in churches, that's not the Son. But that's the one everybody will recognize when he shows up and tries to convince everybody he's the true Son. That's the ultimate deception, people. That's what we're trying to get across to you guys. Most people are going to flock to him, regardless of the Bible saying, if you hear that he's coming in the desert, don't go. People are still going to go because, like, no, this is what he looks like. I know what he looks like. I've seen pictures. It's got to be him. Don't believe it. Open your mind. Don't believe it. Jesus is not the Son of the Most High. He's a fabricated character created by the Roman Catholic Church for the end time event. And again, as I've mentioned in previous videos, Yahushua is Hebrew. Jesus is Greek. They are not interchangeable names like they would like us to believe. Like, for instance, Joseph and Jose are the same names pronounced differently in two different languages. Not the case with Yahushua and Jesus. My guess is they wanted everyone to gravitate toward the easiest one to pronounce. And that's exactly what has happened. Most people think it doesn't matter what I call him, Jesus or Yahushua. It's the same thing. It's not. And once you know that, once you know what is right and you don't do it, that's a sin. That's part of the lie. They want us to believe both of those names mean the exact same thing, when in fact they mean the opposite. Opposite ends of the spectrum. One's good, one's evil. Think about that. That's the lie. We are exposed to Jesus, not Yahushua. He's been hidden. His name, the Father's name, Yahweh, removed from the Bible at least 7,000 times. Why would they do that? Because they want us to see the lie. I can't stress that enough. Another prime example of a lie being exposed for everyone to see is the military faction of the Catholic Church called the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits. They're called the Society of Jesus. Most people think, oh, that's benevolent. That's what they want you to think. It's the lie. They know who Jesus is, they know what side Jesus is on, and they're on that side. Check out this logo of theirs. I mean, it says everything. Why is there always a sun involved with the name Jesus or pictures with Jesus? Because Jesus is the Son, S-U-N, not S-O-N. Just like all the previous sun gods, Mithra, Ra, they're all the same. Another example of the truth being hidden and the lies being exposed are hand signs. Everyone's seen Jesus' hands up like this, his right hand with his two fingers up. Looks an awful lot like Baphomet, as above, so below. And the one on the left, the Salvator Mundi, the one that was $450 million in the auction, he's holding a globe. That means below. His fingers are pointing up, as above, so below. Now look what the two fingers looks like. According to this, it depicts the shadow of represents Satan. Two fingers is the horns. The peace sign is satanic. You name it. Hand signs, you don't even know you're doing hand signs. There's sign language that's satanic. People don't even realize. That's how corrupt this world is. It's Satan driven. People don't even realize they're doing hand signs. I mean, everybody knows the horns. Texas Longhorns. You think that was by just happenstance that they decided to do hook'em horns? No. I've seen elementary schools that have the Eye of Horus when they do the horns. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's everywhere. They love to hide in plain sight. That's what Satanists do. Here's a picture depicting Jesus with the Eucharist, as in the communion. In the top left, you see he's holding a round circle. People in Catholicism know that is the shape of the host, the bread. Why is it round? Because it's the shape of the sun, S-U-N, just like he is. I mean, it's everywhere, people. You can't avoid it. If you're awake, it just boom, it's everywhere. Once you awaken, it's amazing. And the bottom left, you see the sun with the right hand. He's holding the sun, and then Baphomet's fingers are pointing to the sun. His other hand pointing down is pointing to the moon. It's just blatantly obvious when your eyes are open. Even the Baphomet, the symbol with the snake going surrounding the rod, which is the phallic symbol, and on the Baphomet picture, doesn't that look familiar? Doesn't that resemble something along the lines of this? And for those of you that don't recognize that symbol, that's our trusty medical symbol, with even the wings of Baphomet included. Again, hiding in plain sight. The truth is hidden as the lie is exposed. It's everywhere, people. I can't even stress that enough. It's sleight of hand. Look over here. Don't look over here. Don't look at this hand. Look at this hand. Look what this hand is doing. The busy hand is the one they want you to focus on. Now, some people are like, well, if Jesus is coming first, who's going to actually play Jesus? I'm not going to go there right now. We got to take small steps. I don't want to overwhelm you too much to let you know. Like, it's just too much too soon. Trust me. Just understand the lie is what we're allowed to see. The truth is hidden from us. I really hope that helps clarify why in previous videos I've said that Father Yahuah wants us out of the church. He doesn't want us in the corrupt churches anymore. Just like I've said in previous videos, Revelation 18 verses 4 through 6, that explains everything. Some people think that's referring to America because America's Mystery Babylon and America is going to be destroyed. But also make no mistake, the church knows exactly who Jesus is. And they're still pushing it. They're still teaching us about Jesus, not Yahushua. Maybe some of the smaller churches are, but when you get to the big 25,000 seat capacity televangelist churches like Joel Osteen or Richard Copeland or Benny Hinn or any of those guys, think about why the path is so narrow to the gate of life and the road to destruction is so wide. That explains it all right there. I know it's hard to believe. I know you've been told one thing your entire life, just like I told you about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy in my previous video. Kids are told lies from the get-go. And from that point forward, they're told more lies, so they don't know what to believe. And then when they get older, they refuse to believe anything that they've been taught, especially like with the false apostle Paul. And that's when they're just like refusing. They're like, I know what's true. I know what's not true. And they are steadfastly set in their ways, and they're not going to change their mind. Well, I've also seen clips of Barack Obama during his campaigning. There's one clip especially when he was going for a second term. And you may have seen it, but he's in California doing a speech, and a heckler interrupts and says, Jesus Christ is the Son of the true God. You're the Antichrist. And it's my opinion that the guy was a prop. Because if you notice in the video, it's when Obama mentions something to somebody in the background, and he immediately, when he turns his head to his right, like it's a signal, that's when the guy heckles.
Where? Hey, how are you? I want to
The Christian God is the one and only true living God, the creator of heaven and the universe. Jesus Christ is God. Jesus Christ is God. Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
I agree.
You are anti-Christ because he said, "He is out and the blood."
Is that his jacket? Is that his jacket? Is that his jacket? First of all, I agree Jesus Christ is the Lord. I believe in that. I do have a question. I think the young man may have left his jacket. So make sure that he gets his jacket. Oh, that's yours. Hold on. It's hers.
And there's another video where you may have seen it before his first term as president. He's talking to Stephanopoulos, and he lets it slip that his Muslim faith.
Let's not play games. What I was suggesting, you're absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that that has not
Christian
come
faith.
My Christian faith. And well, what I'm saying is he hasn't
His
suggested that I'm a Muslim, and I think that his.
So, sure, he'll lie. Why not? We all know what he really is if you're awake. And he's going to say Jesus Christ is his Lord and Savior because, again, he would pass a polygraph if he said that because he knows what side Jesus Christ is on. So, again, I believe that heckler was completely a prop because if he would have said Yahushua ben David is the son of the living God, Obama would have been really caught in a compromising situation because he couldn't have admitted that. He was in agreement with that. But yeah, he's in agreement with Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. He wants more votes, so everybody around him saying, yeah, you love Jesus just like I do, yeah. So you're a good guy. The lie is what we're allowed to see.
It's a tradition nearly 60 years old. A national prayer breakfast attended by the President of the United States.
The presidency has a funny way of making a person feel the need to pray.
It was more than 20 years ago that President Obama signed up to work as a community organizer in Chicago, Illinois.
And it was through that experience, working with pastors and lay people, trying to heal the wounds of hurting neighborhoods, that I came to know Jesus Christ for myself. And embrace him as my Lord and Savior.
Mr. Obama says sometimes his prayers are general and sometimes very specific.
Lord, give me patience as I watch Malia go to her first dance, where there will be boys.
He says he regularly prays for the ability to help others, for humility, and to walk closer to God. It was an important speech for the president. Polls reveal many Americans continue to believe he is Muslim.
When Michelle and I hear our faith questioned from time to time, we are reminded that ultimately what matters is not what other people say about us, but whether we're being true to our conscience and true to our God. When I wake in the morning, I wait on the Lord. And I ask him to give me the strength to do right by our country and its people. And when I go to bed at night, I wait on the Lord. And I ask Him to forgive me my sins, and look after my family and the American people, and make me an instrument of His will.
Members of Congress, even on the opposite side of the aisle, say they left feeling good about the country.
It was good to hear that the president is a man who does pray, and we certainly pray for him and his guidance.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
Now, before I wrap this up, I also want to say something that if you do learn the truth, and usually that happens after your awakening, you seek it yourself because no one's going to show it to you. You have to go looking for it because that's what's buried again. But if you seek the truth and you find it and you sit on it and you stay silent, there's a fine line between silence and being complicit. That's why I'm a watchman for the Most High Father Yahuah. I'm trying to expose evil as much as possible. Psalm 94:16, standing up to evildoers in the face of iniquity. And we're doing everything in our power as watchmen to turn as many souls back to Father Yahuah that Lucifer is trying to steal. Thanks for listening. And again, if not me, who? And if not now, when? Stay vigilant and fear no evil. God bless.